right, we're on to a bit of a different big idea. Again, we are today looking at understanding the order of operations and knowing that that helps us to accurately complete calculations in the real world. Our concept today is to demonstrate an understanding of the order of operations, and we will talk about that. Which operations do you use to solve this question? Well, when we look at the signs, we know we have subtraction and we know we have division. But did you know that you actually don't do them in the order in which they appear? You can do this part first. You can do this part first. How do we decide which one we do first? Well, that's exactly what the order of operations is all about. Because if we do this one first, we get a different answer. If we do this one first, we get a different answer. And really, we know with math equations, when we're doing an actual equation, there's only one right answer. There's many ways that we can get to it sometimes, but there's always only one right answer. So, for example, if we were to look at this, 18 minus 6, which would equal 12, then divided by 3, that would equal 4. So if we did it that way, we would get a 4. If we did 6 divided by 3, which would be 2, and then went back and went 18 minus 2, we would get 16. So which one is the right answer? Well, we will talk about that today. The order in which you need to complete the operations is what we call the order of operations. All right, so we've talked about this already. When you solve a problem that uses more than one operation, so remember operations are adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. When they have more than that, more than just one of those, the answer depends on the order in which you perform those operations. So evaluate this expression. Really, that means solve this expression. If you add first, 3 plus 6 is 9, 9 times 4 is 36. That would be your answer. If you multiply first, 6 times 4 is 24, and then 3 plus 24 is 27. Now, in order to avoid getting two answers, there is a rule. The rule is that multiplication is done before addition. Okay, so multiplication before addition, really important. Oh, just an aside here. An expression is a mathematical statement with numbers and operations. When we find the answer, we evaluate the expression. So the expression is the question. Evaluating is the answer. So when you come across a question in your textbook or on a test or wherever, if it says evaluate the expression, it wants you to calculate the operation, find the answer. Sometimes in an equation we will have brackets. Okay, brackets are around an operation that needs to be carried out first. So if it needs to be done first, it is in brackets. Okay, sometimes also called parentheses. So brackets is our very first thing that we have to do. The second thing we have to do, and I'm going to just change my color here so it's a little bit, you'll be able to see it better. The second thing we have to do, so operations in brackets first, is to multiply and divide in order from left to right. So multiply and divide in order from left to right. So if divide comes first, we would do that first. Okay. Lastly, we add and subtract in order from left to right. Add and subtract in order from left to right. So let's look at some expressions and see if we can evaluate them. So here we have 16 minus 14 divided by 2. Well, let's check. Do we have any brackets? Nope, we don't have to worry about that. Do we have any multiplying and dividing? Because that needs to come first in order from left to right. Well, yes, we do. So we have to do the 14 divided by 2 part first. Okay, we've done the 14 divided by 2 part. It stays at 7. We cannot change the order of this because can we take 16 away from 7? No, we cannot. So do not change the order. That means this 16 stays here, it gets brought down, and we bring in the minus 7. 16 minus 7 we can do, and that equals 9. You have to do it in this order in order to get 9, which is the correct answer. So make sure that you're very carefully following that order. All right, let's try our next equation, remembering it's brackets first, then multiplying and dividing from right to left in order, and then adding and subtracting from right to left in order. Now, to help us remember that, we have a handy little reminder. It's called BedMAS, because we do brackets first, division and multiplication second, left to right, addition and subtraction third, left to right. But there is one thing in there, and it's an E. It's for exponents. We don't actually have to do exponents. I will talk to you about what they are, but we don't have to do them. But it makes it, BedMAS is easier to remember than with that E in there. Besides, you will need to know the exponent portion of it in grade 7. So let's take a look here. Here's our next expression. 18 minus 10 plus 6. So, do we have any brackets? Nope, no brackets. Exponents we don't have. Division and multiplication. Is there any division and multiplication left to right? Nope, there is not. Adding and subtracting from left to right. So that means I'm going from left to right. That means I actually do this question in order. 18 minus 10 is 8. 8 plus 6, because we bring that part down, 8 plus 6 is 14. So that would be my answer. Let's look at our next one. We have 7 times bracket 4 plus 8 end bracket. So brackets first, which means we have to do the 4 plus 8 first. This is how it can be made. We can make an equation so that we do in fact add or subtract before we multiply or divide. So 4 plus 8 is 12. Remember, we cannot change the order here, so 7 times 12 is 84. Really important to remember, the order of operations is brackets first, multiply and divide left to right, add and subtract left to right. Check your calculator. Make sure you're punching them in this order. Otherwise, it might not follow the order of operations and it might be incorrect. So double check your calculator and make sure that when you're punching them in, you are punching them in the order that you need to complete them. So do the 4 plus 8 part first, then the 7 times 2. You cannot take this and punch it in this order. Your calculator won't necessarily know that the brackets part has to be done first. All right, at this point we are going to do some practice. So you have 4 questions here. I'd like you to make sure that you show your work and with your partner, try these 4 questions. Press pause and do that now. All right, let's take a look. So for A, we have 8 plus 2 times 4. I know I have to do my brackets first, then my multiplying and dividing left to right, then my adding and subtracting also left to right. So what do I have to do first? Well, there are no brackets, so I'm okay. Next, I have multiplying and dividing left to right. There is one multiplying, so I'm going to do that first. 2 times 4 is 8. Now I need to go back and rewrite the part of the question that was there before. 8 plus 8, which gives me my final answer of 16. Take a look at yours. Did you do it correctly? Let's try the next one. B. Very similar question. 8 times 2 plus 4, and the 2 plus 4 is in brackets. All right, so let's take a look. Brackets first. Oh, that means I have to do my adding first today. 2 plus 4. So 2 plus 4 I know is 6. I bring down my other part of the question. That still stays the same. 8 times 6 now equals 48. C. 7 minus 3 plus 9. So I take a look. Any brackets? Nope. Any multiplying and dividing? Nope. Adding and subtracting? Yes. Left to right. So that means in this case I do start at the 7 minus 3, which is 4. I bring down the rest of the equation, plus 9. 4 plus 9 is 13. So 13 is my final answer. Last one. Let's take a look. 12 divided by 4 plus 2 times 6. Oh gosh, we have a lot going on here. So let's take a look. Brackets. No brackets. Okay. Multiplying and dividing left to right. Well, I have dividing over here and multiplying over here. I know I have to go from left to right. So that means I first have to do the 12 divided by 4 part, which is 3. Then I have to do the 2 times 6 part, because that's continuing left to right. 2 times 6 is 12. I have to bring down what's left. Well, actually, all that's left is that plus sign. So I bring that plus sign down. 3 plus 12 is 15. So 15 is my final answer. All right, let's do a couple more to practice. Let's do 3 more. We're going to choose some of the trickier ones out of these ones. I'd like you to try A, B, D, and F. Actually, I made it 4. Sorry. Let's try those 4. Press pause, and now that you've had a little bit more practice and seen the work, try these 4 and see how it goes. Make sure to show your work so that we know which part it is that you've done first. All right, let's take a look. A, we had 6 minus 3 plus 8 times 2. And remembering it is, brackets. Multiplying and dividing left to right. And adding, subtracting left to right. So, when I look at this, there are no brackets. Multiplying and dividing, there is some multiplying and dividing, so I have to do that part first. 8 times 2 is 16. What's left gets brought down, so 6 minus 3 plus 16 is what's left. No other multiplying and dividing, so now I'm into the adding and subtracting part. So I need to add and subtract from left to right. So that means I start at the left and I work my way to the right. 6 minus 3 is 3 plus 16 equals 19. And that would be my final answer there. All right, let's take a look at B. So B, we have 2 times 7 plus 5, which is in brackets, minus 1. All right, so brackets first, which means we have to do this part first. So let's get that done. 7 plus 5 is 12. Let's rewrite what's there, and we cannot change the order, so we just bring it right down. 2 times and minus 1. Now we need to look. Multiplying and dividing from left to right. So this multiplying comes first. 12 times 2 is 24. The minus 1 just gets brought down. Well, what is 24 minus 1? Well, it's 23. Now let's take a look at D. We have 12 plus 4 minus 8 divided by 4. So again, it's brackets. Multiplying and dividing, left to right, adding and subtracting, left to right. So let's take a peek. Well, we need to do our multiplying and dividing first. There are no brackets, so 8 divided by 4 is 2. What are we left with? 12, that's supposed to be in black. 12 plus 4 minus, because we haven't gotten rid of that part, we still need that minus sign. So now we look at it and, oh, all we have left is adding and subtracting, and we have to work our way from left to right. So I'm going to start at the front. 12 plus 4 is 16, minus 2 is what we have left. 16 minus 2 is 14. That's our final answer for that one. All right, last one for our practice, F. So brackets first. 10 minus 2 needs to happen first. 10 minus 2 is 8. Everything else we just bring down. So 3 plus 7 plus, then our 8 fills in, divided by 2. All needs to be brought down. Now we look again. Okay, multiplying and dividing left to right. No multiplying, no dividing. Dividing, so we have to do that part next. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Bring down what's left. 3 plus 7 plus 4 is our new equation. Adding and subtracting from left to right, no problem. It's all adding left to right. 3 plus 7 is 4 plus, 3 plus 7 is 10 plus 4 is 14. All right, now you should feel fairly confident. We are going to move our way on to the concept practice. All right, so you are going to be working on page 72, page 72 and 73, 1F to L, 4E to H, 5E to J, and 12. Look carefully at what letters you're completing. You don't have to do them all. If we're struggling, we'll go back and do some of those other ones for practice. Usually the ones towards the end are a little bit harder, so I've chosen the ones that are a little harder over the ones that are a little easier. Make sure that you pay close attention to the order of operations. All right, and I have included the exit slip. Now, the front side of the exit slip is primarily order of operations, and the back side has integers. There's a little bit on the front side as well for integers. So if you've misplaced yours, remember this shouldn't be done until, or the integer portion shouldn't be done until the integer lessons are done. So order of operations part you could do, but make sure you don't do the integer part until you've had that lesson teaching you about integers. And here is that last side, and this is a little bit more about integers. This part, of course, is going to be about comparing and ordering integers, being able to tell which number is larger and which number is smaller. So this is the second side of the exit slip. Again, you do not do this portion until the integer lesson has been taught. And of course the concept practice done. So make sure integer lesson concept practice is done first. The exit slip is the final check for me to see, okay, are you understanding now that the concepts have been taught? But if you misplace your page, this is a great place to look, and you can rewrite it out instead of paying for a photocopy. Always better to take care of your materials, but this is also an option.